Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. Please guide our steps, fill our hearts with peace. Strengthen us for whatever comes our way. We know that you are always with us. Please be with our community, students, and staff. And most importantly, please be with that young man that was just before us and his family. Give him the guidance, give him the strength that only you can do. And with that, we know he will be very successful. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Please address the flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Madam Superintendent. Now, accept a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I'd like to welcome everybody here tonight and move right on to our superintendent's highlights. Madam Superintendent.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Our highlights are Mrs. Wiggins and Mrs. Spina for parent engagement activities at BES. Come on up. Can't pass it to anyone else here.
I thought you were going to say you loved coming to learning walks today at BES.
I have my notes,
Yes.
my other
It's one of
comments.
my most favorite things. Okay. So we are here tonight to talk about parent and family engagement activities at Bronson Elementary School. When Kaylee and I took over at Bronson, parent and family engagement was not up to snuff. We didn't have a whole lot of engagement. We didn't have a whole lot of attendance at our activities. And so we set out to change that because we know that if our parents aren't involved, if our parents aren't supporting what the teachers are doing in the classrooms, then we can't reach our vision of being the highest performing school in the district and one of the top 300 in the state. And that is our vision, so for Bronson Elementary School. So we set out to change that. We know that parent and family engagement is very, very important. All these reasons that are listed there. If our parents aren't in the trenches with us and helping us along, then we're not going to be able to reach those kinds of goals. So what we wanted to do was to create events that were going to build relationships with our parents. We wanted them to feel comfortable coming to our school. We wanted them to feel like that they could come for those less stressful events and those less those things that were a little bit more fun, so that then when we had to have those hard conversations or those conversations or those events or those meetings with them that were not as exciting, that they would still want to come to those kinds of things because we had built those relationships with them and they felt comfortable being on our campus. And we wanted to build the kinds of relationships where all of our parents felt comfortable coming, because the majority of the parents that were coming were our subgroups were not being represented. So we wanted to more affluent families. So we wanted to make sure that all of our students were represented at those kinds of activities. So what we usually do is in April, we meet with our April School Advisory Council meeting. We put before the council all of the activities that we've done the previous year, and we talk about them, what was good, what was bad, what they liked, what they didn't like, and we come up with a list of things that they want to either keep doing or some things that are new and or things that just didn't work and that we want to get rid of. And we just kind of put it up there on a sticky pad, and we just kind of take their ideas and we write them down, and we just have those kinds of discussions because we want their input. Go ahead. So these were the things that they came up with last April that they wanted us to continue through the 24-25 school year. They wanted us to keep doing donuts with grown-ups. They wanted us to keep doing the STEAM night. I continue to have our family literacy events, our meet the teacher. They wanted us to keep doing our Facebook videos, and then our family learning nights. So
Marlene, what is the donuts with grown-ups?
that's my first thing I'm going to
okay.
talk about. Okay. So our Donuts with Grown-ups is one of our biggest events. It's one of our most well-attended events. We just had that at the end of January. Parents and families come, our parents, sometimes it's grandparents, sometimes it's whoever the grown-up is in the student's life. They come we schedule it throughout the morning. Each grade level has a certain time, and we ask them to RSVP. This year we had 450 RSVPs. Not all of those showed up, but we had 159 people show up that did not RSVP. So we ended up with about 450 people at this event. And it is huge. It's huge, but we get donuts, and they go into the classrooms. We pretty much turn it over to the teachers, and we allow them to do pretty much whatever they'd like to show off in the classroom. And so some of them give students awards, some of them have a little program that the kids do, some of them just have them reading with a book with their student, and then taking AR tests, or they might have them doing iReady tests with them. They might show them how they do a center activity. They may just do a project with them. But most of the time, we've had nothing but positive feedback from our parents at these kinds of events. Whether it's, no matter what it is that they're doing in the classroom, we always get great feedback from that. We've got some pictures we'd like to show you of this past event. You can see this one, well, do I put my glasses on, or is that blurry?
Blurry.
That's blurry. But anyway, this was some of our older classrooms, some of our 5th grade classrooms. The parents were working on an activity that they were doing. They were kind of competing student to parent, and so they were competing with each other. Go ahead.
One of the things that I just want to highlight too is typically what we see with parent involvement and engagement is that by the time they get a little bit older, we start to see that trickle down. But as you can see with our 5th grade classrooms here, this is a huge event no matter what grade level you're in. And so I think that parents definitely do value this.
This is some of our middle grades here with, and these were some of the things that they did. What were some of the reading activities where they were going through reading books. They would do a read aloud, or they would have the student read the book, and they would do an AR test or an iReady test with the students. Some more of those, and then the ones on the right were some of our youngest students. Even our pre-K students are involved in this, and they come and we have just. I can't really say that there's one grade level that's more represented than any other, because it is such a well-attended event.
And because we have so many attendees come, we've actually had to move to kind of like a wave system where they come at different time slots, and we'll check this group in, have them go to the RSVP table, get their ticket. If not, you go to the office. So it's just like a well-oiled machine at this point, thankfully. But we have so many people.
When we have them RSVP so that we can go ahead, and if they've already been to our school, they can print out their rafter tag, and so we don't have to spend time doing that during the mornings whenever they come. So another big event that we have, this one is not quite as well as attended as as the Donuts with Grown-Ups, but this has been one of the ones that we've done throughout the years, is our family literacy events. We usually try to do these in December, and we work with our SAC really closely to come up with our theme for whatever it is that we're going to do. SAC also usually is involved in, they usually have a booth, or they provide some food for us, and they usually provide some funding for whatever book or books we decide to use to talk about this. So usually what we do is we pick a book or books and a genre of books, and we put it out to teachers and grade levels, and they develop activities to go along with it. They read the book in the classroom or books in the classroom, and then they decide what kind of activity they want to do. It might be something that is a make and take or a craft or something like that. It might be a writing activity, but it usually has something to do with literacy. We try to make it have to do with literacy. We also try to invite our community partners. The coalition usually comes to this. We have our representative from the New Worlds Reading Initiative come. And we do usually have one of UF's scientists in the classroom, and you'll get to see some photos from this past. Go ahead.
Not a terrified superintendent at all.
So you can see there, we had, where this past one was where the wild things are. Yes, that's a tarantula in my hand, a lot
Oh, my
UF.
goodness.
And, go ahead.
And while she put on a very brave face, I could kind of see she was a little scared. But
When it
she
started
did.
crawling up my arm, I was very frightened.
Oh, yes. I won't hold those, but I'll do snakes and she won't do
I
snakes.
won't-
Oh, wow.
So you can see all the different kinds of activities that our parents had, and parents usually are involved in whatever activity it is with their student. They really enjoy working with their students at these events. We also have family learning nights. We usually try to do about 3 of these. These are kind of like our literacy nights, but they're much smaller scale. We have them usually coincide with whatever night our SAC is on. We either do it before the SAC meeting or after the SAC meeting. And this year, our first one for this year, we wanted to introduce our AR program to our parents. And the theme, of course, was super readers. And so we taught our parents how to choose the right kind of books for their student, how to log on, how to take tests, things like that, and how their students, we talked about how their students were going to be rewarded for earning points by taking those AR tests.
And also walking them through the process of how to log in to Clever at home. What does that process look like? Because it can be a little daunting from.
Oh, I meant to mention too, at our Donuts with Grown-ups, the amount of questions that we got from parents. We have parents asking about our Remind system. We have parents asking about our Skyward system. We have parents asking about how they could get involved in SAC. We had so many different opportunities for them to, they ask us those kinds of questions. And so we really feel like that does open doors for us to be able to have those other kinds of meetings. There's some of our events. Our next family learning night is coming up in March, and we will be, it'll be a AVID night, and so our AVID site coordinator is going to be presenting to our parents about how, what we do with AVID at our school and how it's, how we incorporate that and how they can help at home. We also try to have a STEAM night every spring. This is an activity where our special area is largely involved in planning this. Our STEAM teacher, our art teacher, even our PE teacher gets involved with this because a lot of what she does is learning about the human body and things like that and body systems, and so she's able to do that. This is another event where we try to invite our community partners. This past year when we did it, we had, the coalition did come and that they were able to make a model, the students were able to make a model. I think that's what the one is up at the very top there, but they were able to make a model of the lungs and how if the lungs are compromised through use of tobacco and things like that, then it doesn't work as well as a clean lung does. This year, last night actually at our SAC meeting, we started talking about our STEAM night and we asked parents to give us some leads on people who might want to come out and present at our STEAM night, maybe local artists or somebody who might work with the electric company, things like that, to get some different ideas for activities for our STEAM night.
So if you have any suggestions or contacts for that, please just reach out and let us know.
This would probably be our second most attended event is Meet the Teacher. In the past, we tried to send home the name of the next year's teacher in a letter with that last report card. However, we have so many changes over the summer with, moving, teachers moving grade levels, teachers leaving, new teachers coming in, all that. And it just ended up being pretty much a waste of the paper and sending it home. But so what we decided to do was have a meet the teacher event so that we could kind of also to control the parents coming onto campus. And because every parent wants to come on that first day and they want to bring all the things, and so it became a safety issue. And so what we wanted to do was to have the meet the teacher event so that they could come on campus, meet the teacher, go to the classroom, but it was in a situation where it was much more controlled and we were able to monitor that much better. If they're on campus with their own child, then we know that they're the ones who is responsible for that. So they are able to come into the classroom, they're able to meet the teacher, they're able to leave any supplies, they're able to bring those supplies beforehand, so our kindergartner's not walking in with a bag of all those things that they bring, because they bring everything and on the list. So we wanted they're able to find out. We usually invite the transportation department to come over so they can talk about how your kid's getting home. That's our number one question on that first day of school, is how is your student getting, how are they getting home. And let's see, they receive all sorts of information from the students' teachers, how what their grading policy is, discipline policy, all those kinds of things. They can give that out at that first meeting. And so that's usually this past year we had it under our new covered area and play area, and that was a way for us to introduce that to our families as well, and they really, really enjoyed that. We have also, we do some Facebook videos. We we try to do these once a month. This past year, we did things like how to do a fluency timing, how we do a fluency timing with your student, some math games, different things like that. And this year we've been doing things like what's going on at Bronson Elementary School, what's happening, events that are coming up, what's going on. So we've been posting those on our Facebook page, and our parents are able to click on that, and we get lots of good feedback from those as well. And in the past, our parent volunteers we haven't had a whole lot of parent volunteers. We've been able to increase our number of volunteers up to 173 approved volunteers. So we've been able to increase that to about 29% of our population, down from 20%.
And our goal on our Title I activity chart this year was to raise that from 20% to 24%, and we've exceeded that to 29%.
Parents can do everything from, of course, chaperoning on field trips. That's the main thing that we have them wanting to do. But then we also have them coming into the classroom and reading books, or we have them coming in the classroom. We keep a list of teachers whenever they have those busy work kind of things. We have a list of those, and they'll come in and they'll pick something up off the list and just go and get them with supplies and do that. We might have them cut out our Eagle Books, or different, just anything that is that kind of thing that we have to put off to the side and aren't able to get to. So some of our parents are very willing to do those kinds of things. They'll even take things home and bring them back for us.
What are the Eagle Books?
Our Eagle Bucks are, you want to talk about that?
Oh, Eagle Bucks, okay.
I'm sorry.
Like the tribal tokens, okay.
Red Devil dollars is what we
Red
got.
Devil Dollars.
Eagle Bucks sound better though.
Oh.
We call them Eagle Cash, and at the beginning, when I first came over, I would accidentally slip up, and Marlene would be like, So one of the things too that I think is really good to have parent volunteers for is our PBIS events. We have quite a bit of parents that will come and will volunteer to help facilitate those events. Whether Kona Ice be there, that's a little bit messy of a situation, and so parents are always more than willing to come and help students get through the line and get them cleaned up and make sure that the facilities are nice for the next group to come in. dance parties, and so I think that those are really great ways. School store, they'll come in and work the school store, and chances are if they work the school store, they end up donating to the school store. So I think that just those positive relationships with parents and letting them see that we are rewarding positive behavior, and that we have more positive behavior at BES, you know, than the latter. And so it's just a really great way for them to be involved and positively impact our students as well.
Well, that's great. That's fantastic.
I just have to say real quick, you two are like a dynamic duo. Every time you present or we meet with them in Bronson, I'm always thinking, if we could clone, these are two I would clone. When Elon calls me, be ready.
I don't know if you can handle it.
It's interesting to me too, because Yankeetown, one of their big hits right now is coffee chat. So these morning times are really popular with parents, and I'm a big fan of AR. My boys, when
Yes,
they're 20 and
I love
18,
that that's come back.
yes,
Because for a
me
while,
too.
I don't know if Chiefland
Well,
has it.
we noticed that, you know, getting our students to read independently
Yes.
was an issue, and,
Right.
you know, we could have them reading all day in the classroom right through their texts and grade level text, but building that love of reading and what they wanted to read, things like that, that was our goal with bringing that back.
And they did mine. I remember it was a competition, like a million word. Whoever hit the million word first, and they would have to go in and take a test by themselves. Like parents will cheat, so they wouldn't let the parents go in. I mean, it was a big deal, but it was very successful. So good job.
Our second grade piloted it last school year. And then after they did and the success that they had with it, the rest of our grade levels wanted to jump on board too.
That's good. That increase in parent and volunteers is amazing. That's amazing. Congratulations.
How about them Eagles?
Oh, goodness.
Thank y'all very much. Now, you can stay as long as you want.
That ain't very long.
That ain't long, apparently. Y'all don't want to stay long. That's where the money is.
Good night.
It's not a Haley Spina without a fanny pack.
Understood. Thank y'all.
Thank you,
Thank
bye.
Now I ask Miss Lake to come up.
I think I could read words really fast if someone tested me. I'll try to read this slow. Okay, so tonight we're going to talk about a reimbursement resolution, and this is for refunding our racetrack bonds. We received a draft timeline, so this will be coming back before you, I should keep going,
22nd.
April 22nd, because we want to have a May 30th closing so that Mr. Breezy can get busy on the roofing. But this reimbursement resolution will be in place to help us recover any funds that we spend. So basically, this resolution is declaring the school board's intent to issue tax-exempt debt to finance certain projects. By declaring its intent to issue tax-exempt debt, this resolution allows the school board to reimburse itself from the bond proceeds for any capital expenditures it pays from other funds prior to the issuance of the debt. So technically, any expenditure made 60 days from today, prior to the issuance of the debt, we could pay for, let's say, out of general fund, and then go back after the debt's issued and recover it. So for example, if we were to begin the roof repairs next week and we paid those contractors out of other capital outlay funds like capital millage, we'd be able to reimburse ourselves for those expenditures from the bond proceeds when they're received in May. The reimbursement resolution does not obligate the board to actually issue any debt. So we'll bring that resolution before the board in April. Then that will actually be what authorizes the issuance of debt.
Any questions?
We do this every 10 years, by the way, for the racetrack, so.
That's what we did with Bob
We'll
Clements
worry
in
about it.
June.
Why is it called racetrack?
I believe because that's originally where the revenue was driven,
That's just a question.
but it's not. It's like a special acts bond now, but we all refer to it as racetrack because that's what we know it for.
Okay.
I was curious.
I always wonder. Okay, that alludes to, you know how we talked the other day, an acronym? I was like,
Right.
maybe it's RCTC and they just call it racetrack. Okay. We need a motion on this. Do I hear a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, CFO Lake. Sounds cool. Hey, Miss Baxter, have I ever pointed out that CFO Lake, where she's
from Bronson.
There you go.
Bronson
Just to
Eagle,
let
of
you know.
course. Yes, yes.
Yes, but I like to point it out.
Rub it in as I like it.
We will now ask Dr. Hanlon to come forward.
Don't have anything to present. I just, this is the point in our instructional materials timeline where we take public comment.
It's a crowd out there
Do we
tonight.
have any public comment? So, and then at the next board meeting, we'll come through with final recommendations. Okay?
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Can I ask one question?
You sure can.
You're not the
And
public.
I've already asked it of you, but if you could explain. So how are we gonna, once we do, if we do approve, how will they be presented? Like, we were talking about that maybe not the first year, but the second year?
So the leadership team of the district is gonna talk about those kinds of things with the district, some of the district instructional people and finance to talk about what that outlook might look like as far as, because we have another year of adoption left on
Right.
our benchmark for
Right.
ELA, but not for the intervention materials or personal finance, that's all new.
So those would be
So those will
immediately?
immediately, and then we're in discussion about ELA and how that's gonna roll out. So, I'll share that with the board when we make those decisions, okay?
Thank you, ma'am.
Appreciate it.
We will move on. Is there any public comment? Oh, I jumped you. I'm sorry. I just read public comment. I apologize, Mr. Lott.
All right.
From one eagle to another eagle. Okay, Mr. Lott, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Board, we brought this to you last meeting. This basically is a new policies required by some of the federal audit demands put forth by Florida DOE. And so this meeting, we're just reviewing it. Does anyone have any questions? There has been no public comment to me in regard to this policy. And so the next meeting, we will ask you to approve this.
Thank you, sir. Excellent job as always. Even though I tried to skip you. Madam Superintendent.
Yes. This was passed on to me by Brooke Smith, who is now the Grants Legislative Liaison, and you have a copy of it downloaded. It's called the Restore Act Advisory Committee. They don't meet often. There's a little description of how they came about. And I guess the seated superintendent will be listed for their board as a board member, and the only thing I'm doing is replacing prior leadership. I think she told you they don't meet often, maybe once every year, if that.
Only in an emergency
Emergency.
situation. And in the past, the superintendent has always been on the committee, but it has not had to be approved by the board. But now their board is requiring that our board approve it. So that's why the superintendent has been a member for all these years, but this is the first time that it's come to our board.
So we need a motion to approve.
Yes.
You do, if you'd like me to sit on that board, or you can absolutely nominate someone from the board.
You look very qualified to me.
Yeah.
I so move.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion, any questions, does anyone doubt the ability. I don't.
She can build a beanstalk, so she can do it.
Yeah.
Not alone.
I have seen her in action. She's good. So if there's no further discussion, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. You did an excellent job there. Now, does the public have any comments? Since they all seem to be just behaving themselves, we'll move on to the approval of the minutes. Has everyone had a chance to read over the minutes? All those in,
Make a motion to approve.
second. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes carried. We'll now move on to our consent agenda. Mrs. Campbell, do you have any questions?
No, I don't.
Ms. Baxter?
All my questions have been answered.
By her.
All my questions have been answered.
Kaminsky?
Mine were answered.
And all of mine have been answered. I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We'll now move on to our finance consent agenda. Are there any questions? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda finance.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further debate? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Now we'll move to our superintendent's comments and recommendations.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to start out with a letter that you have a copy of that is going to the Board of County Commissioners. This does not need a vote, but just bringing it to your attention. And this letter is going to the Board of County Commissioners because they are the ones that would have to vote on it. But after speaking to Mr. Lott and of course Breezy, there is a need for portables that we've had throughout the district. And as you know, some of those buildings in that area are being demolished. There is an L-shaped portable and then another portable. And of course, the Board of County Commissioners will vote on it, but we're asking them if we can have those portables. And of course, it would be our expense to go move those portables. And then of course, Breezy and his team will do the renovations. So I'm just I'm just showing you that this letter will be sent. If you have questions, you're more than welcome to ask the questions now, and then when they vote, I'll bring back their decision.
Anything else?
Any questions for Breezy about the portables or anything like that? He's ready.
Please ask him something.
You felt the portables were in good shape to be able
That's
to take
what I was
possession of them?
wondering.
Yes, sir, they're as good shape as most any we have. We actually done some more investigating today, and the L-shaped portable is actually two portables that were put together. They were spaced 4 foot apart, and then an area tied those two together, so it'll be an easy separation, relatively easy to, because we want to use them as two separate portables. So,
And where will you be moving them, if we're able to get them?
we have a need, and this has been
Right.
decided 100%, but we have a need for at Wilson Middle High School and Chiefville Middle High School for a visitor locker room and a referee access area to both football fields. And then we also have a need for a record storage room at Wilson Middle High School. And so we just thought this would be, we have looked at cost of portables, and even if we haven't been able to find any, but if we found any, we still have to incur the cost of moving and set up. So,
Well, hopefully it'll pass.
Hopefully it will.
Just so everybody can hear, the cost of the donation and the moving and the renovation is cheaper than it would be for us to go out and purchase new
Yes,
portables.
We haven't been able to find anything.
Right.
Mr. Lott have been for the last couple of years trying to reach out to different counties to see if they had some. Just no luck, other than you can buy a new one. but
Right,
you
exactly.
don't know what that costs.
That's right.
All right.
Thank you. I just also wanted to give a little shout out to Mr. Gore and of course the staff and the SROs at our Williston school. I know it was a little frightening, but per Mr. Gore, everything happened as it should, and they were very professional and very calm, and the other schools, of course, followed suit and went into lockdown. And I think it learned a couple of things, but overall it was a success and a scare, but a success with that. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate everything that the schools did. And also, you know, for the student who spoke up, what do we always say? See something, say something. And, you know, obviously our children are comfortable enough and have faith in their teacher and admin to listen to them. So I think that's admirable. Beast Feast, I think we all have the date, February 22nd, right? And are you doing venison?
Yeah, venison.
Venison, and I'll do lobster mac and cheese. We'll all okay, that's set. I know Val and Sal's are going around right now, and a couple schools I was able to attend, and some of the students are actually so emotional, and it's great, you know. But when they all come out, we can go over the names, and it's nice to see that they're working very hard. All on the roofing project and the appropriations. I learned today through Dr. Kim that there was a number that has been assigned to that appropriations, which means at this point that when they start crafting their budget, that we are officially in there for consideration. So that was passed along. I've left you our one-pagers from the platform that y'all decided, and that's thanks to Mr. Gore, it's thanks to Marcy Young, and thanks to Ms. Campbell and Dr. Hanlon, who met and collaborated, and those one-pagers were sent to Dr. Kim and Jessica. No edits were sent back. That's how good they are. So we'll be going up there February 18th and 19th. It'll just be the Levy Legislative Ladies representing. That will be fun, so that'll be on the 18th and the 19th, and we'll get our meetings and who we're going to meet with soon from Dr. Kim. So we'll make you proud, the men of the board.
Sending the mean ones up there to get it right.
And last but not least, we've had the master board training for a full day and a half day so far, and I just want to say that, to me personally, I've enjoyed both days tremendously. And just so all of you know, you may hear us laughing a lot in here, but we are working, and I think we're building a relationship that will honestly last far beyond the years together that we'll have on the board. I really do. So thank you for your participation, and I know it's hard on your schedules, and I just want to tell you that I appreciate everything that you're doing. And that's all I have.
Now it's time for board comments, and I've started with you all night. How about you, Mrs. Campbell?
Sure, I kind of thought you would. You're a man of habit.
I am.
Well, also, I have enjoyed very much the master board training. It's been fun, but boy, I'm learning so much. And then Lisa and I also attended a finance training in Gainesville, 2 days of that, and learning a lot, and going to learn even more from Kim, I hope, because I have a lot to learn. But, and I am also looking forward to our trip to Tallahassee. I don't know how we'll do it without an eagle with us. But we will try. We will do our best.
You're close, you're close, you're close.
But, yeah, I am looking forward to that. I do want to compliment Bronson on their presentation. It was great. Parental involvement is so, so important for our success, and they're doing a great job, and I love the ideas that they have, and we're going to share some of those with Cedar Key. I'm also excited about our adoption, ELA adoption. I got to look at the curriculum, and it's looking good, and I like the choices that we're making. I'm excited about the intervention program because that is an area that we needed to improve on, and it looks like we're going to. So I'm really looking forward to that. In Cedar Key, softball and baseball is underway, boys weightlifting. Our principal is actually our coach for the boys weightlifting team. I got to go to a weightlifting meet at Chiefland High School, and oh my goodness, I had never attended anything. I've been to track meets where there's a million things going on at one time, but this was unbelievable. You just didn't know where to look first. You had to focus on the people you came to see, or else. But they did a great job. They did an absolutely great job putting that on. But also our Avid team put on a Valentine dance this past week at the school for the elementary students, and it drew so many parents. That was a great parental involvement activity too, and they did a great job. It was wonderful. That's it.
Thank you, ma'am. Mrs. Baxter?
Well, I have enjoyed the master board training as well, just like Lyndon and Tammy said. That's been great. And the finance training, I think we'll have lots of questions for Kim when we meet with her. But it's been great. At Chiefland Elementary School, they had a very successful color run for the safety patrol down in Cedar Key. Their Avid students, I think, visited the elementary for College and Career Day.
Avid and CTE,
Yes. And then over at the high school, students are already beginning to register for their classes for next year. And Tammy Jones, as supervisor of elections, is coming to talk to the seniors about their civic participation in voting, which I think is so important. We do have one student, and they didn't give me her name, but we do have one student from Chiefland Middle High School that's going to the weightlifting state tournament. That's this weekend. They did have students that attended the Night to Shine, and their Avid theme was out of this world. So they're excited about that. 10 of 12 students passed the CNA exam. And I thought this was the coolest thing. Miss Drummond sent this to me as an afterthought. And I believe this was an Avid assignment. The students were each given $15 and told to go to plan a meal, go to Save-A-Lot, buy the ingredients and prepare, and they had a panel of judges. And you think, what? Well, this was to prepare them for the poor college life when they get there. And the kids really enjoyed it, and I think they learned a lot. And that's all I have.
That's cool. Mr. Whitehurst?
I too enjoyed master board. Like I said, I think it's important for us to, kind of get to know each other. We come up here, we might have different opinions on stuff, but it's also, good to know each other and be civil. And, I feel like we have a strong board. Some of them, there's a lot of dysfunction out there in some other counties, but I'm proud to represent Levy County to where, we might disagree, but, we all have the same interests, students. Looking forward to the Beast Feast. It's kind of a little more laid back than the gala, so that's kind of one of my more favorite things. I know Cameron likes to dress up in a suit, but I'm not necessarily one to also want to wear a suit all the time. But so looking forward to that, and as I said, serving everybody, meeting all the people there. And as far as at Williston, got basketball boys and girls playoffs, baseball kicked off tonight, doing a football fundraiser tonight. There's a Safe Patrol Valentine's dance on Friday and all the things. So just a lot going on, but just hope everybody has a good rest of the week. That's all I have. Thank you.
Ms. Breeden?
Oh, God.
Husband's gonna kill me. I thoroughly enjoyed Master Board training also. Looking forward to Tallahassee. The more time we spend together, the more I like both of you so much. So I agree that we have a great, and you two, of course.
Thanks.
But I'm looking forward to that. Yankeetown has parent-teacher conferences back to the Bronson presentation, which was amazing. I said it already, but those two are great. Kudos to Bronson, I'll give you that. Yankeetown also has 3 essay winners, the VFW Patriot essays. They got first, second, and third. So that's, yeah, it's a big deal. So super proud of them. Thank you, Breezy, wherever you are, right there for this week. You're right on the money when, as usual. So I had a couple ask, and he followed through. And you too, Mr. Gore. Thank you for everything you did, because we were here when that was going down. So everyone that has spoken about that said it was just flawless and seamless. So kudos to you. And big shout out to Quinion Mitchell. I know I'm saying that, but I'm a devil too. And we're super proud of him and winning to have a.
He's not a Bronson Eagle.
But he's an eagle. He's an eagle.
He is an eagle.
He's an eagle.
That's true. There's still a little eagle in there. I guess that.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
But we're super proud of him. So my daughter had a Guantanamo Bay sweatshirt on Sunday night. So super proud of him. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Minnie. I struggled with the game because I'm a bit of a Kansas City Chief fan, as I've pointed out, because I'm really pulling for Travis and Taylor. And but the old Levy County boy who suffered as a Red Devil, but now he's finally an Eagle. I'm sure he's proud. I have his grandfather insured, and he comes in every month, so we have these big conversations. And no matter how proud we are pale beside grandfather.
Absolutely.
And Melissa thinks this is funny. I was asking him, I said, so what's it like? He goes, man, he's told me he's going to build me a house. I was like, well, that's wonderful. I said, but of course, you being the grandfather you are, you said, no, you don't have to do that. And he goes, no, I didn't say that. I was like, okay. So I think it's wonderful. Let me just go ahead and say it's great to represent Bronson where there's no possible controversy in Bronson, Florida. I will go a little further on the presentation from Bronson Elementary School as their school board representative. It hadn't been that long ago where I had people calling me saying, we grown folks, we don't feel invited or welcome at Bronson Elementary School. They don't feel like they want us there. I think it's wonderful what they have done. And I think if we look around, for example, like in Yankeetown, I've been here when it was kind of like Yankeetown, the town didn't feel welcome at Yankeetown. And these principals have done a great job of reaching out to their community, getting parent involvement, getting all that. Because I've always viewed it as education's got 3 legs. You got the school, you got the kid, and you got the parent. And if one of them isn't there, that table won't stand. And so it's fantastic what you see going on there. And I'm incredibly proud of it. I'm not going to sit here and say I enjoy Master Board just because I want to be different than everybody else. But I'm proud of my efforts tonight to not tap my pencil. And I did, because some of us, that's their pet peeve. Laura, you've done an excellent job. And I hope Ms. Baxter gets some soup, you get some sleep, and he gets to go to Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. If you were there, you'd know what we're talking about. And I'm going to go home and eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. But before I do this, because we won't meet before then, just want to remind everybody that the Bronson FFA Alumni's Annual Food Fest and Cake Auction will be coming up on the 21st, and it's a fantastic meal of all the great delicacies. And if you are wanting a ticket, call me. I got one for you, and hope everybody can come out. I happen to know the MC of the night. He is going to regale people with stories.
Oh.
So, not really. But we hope to see you there. If you can't make it, I understand. You can send me money and I'll give it to him. If there's nothing else, I don't know. You missed your chance.
May I say one thing?
Yes.
The gentleman will be missed in Tallahassee. You didn't say that, you will be missed. But will you go ahead and brag on yourself a little bit, because I don't know the
Me?
full story? Yes.
Oh, well, it's not necessarily for public consumption yet,
Oh,
so I can't really say it.
okay.
I won an award, so that's why
That's
I
why.
can't go. And we can't get into it because
Okay.
until I've gotten the email saying I've won it, but until the company officially says here.
You will be missed, that's all I
So
want to say.
I will, and it's kind of like, it's good and bad all at the same time.
Strike that, Morgan, from the
Yeah,
tape.
knock that out. But I appreciate it. Plus, I was also scared to go off of you women because y'all might get me in trouble because y'all a bad bunch. And we, you good eagles, always live just clean and straight. If there is no further business, meeting is adjourned.